So I wanted to make a video about this absolutely glorious mess of a fight scene that is SEVIKA versus Smeech with JINX's unhinged slot machine rando select arm. And so the first thing which is just inescapable about this scene is just that it is bursting with stupid amounts of fun. I mean, slot machine arm, how could that not be the most absurdly fun thing ever? But you look at what it does for the scene and you see how it creates this impact. The slot machine injects these mini stakes and tension into every beat of the fight scene. Every single beat we are waiting for, like, what's gonna happen? What's next? Wait, what does that combination mean? What wacky new ability is this? Can SEVIKA use whatever this is, or is it just gonna be another random dud again? And like, why, JINX? Why would you even? Or is it gonna randomly play music? And again, why? The arm is basically a never-ending surprise generator, and we get all the stakes of what that means. It's just brilliant. Our fight scene is literally a game now, with game stakes and game levels of tension and game levels of variety, and yeah, game sound effects and game music and game aesthetics and game spectators. And that's the other big part of why the scene is so fun. Fortiche does such a good job of making us feel like, hold up, don't worry about the high stakes. Those low stakes are all that matter in this scene, which is what a game is. A game is saying we're going to put effort into low stakes that don't impact the rest of our lives external to this. The show puts us firmly in that mindset with all these little aesthetic and structural and musical aspects, and we just stop worrying that SEVIKA is going to lose. We stop worrying about JINX. We stop worrying about anything, and all we're focused on is what is random select arm going to do next. We're just focused on the surprises and the joy of it all. But all this is only like structural fun stuff. The real fun comes from number 2, which is personality. We love when a character has a thing that they do or a way that they be, and we just get to see them do it. We get this little cathartic cycle of, oh my god, they're gonna do the thing, and then, oh my god, they did it. We love seeing potent expressions of personality, and when they're especially new, fresh situations, when they're especially unusual situations, when it's kind of convoluted or absurd, when it's quirky, when it comes with clashes between quirks, and again, when it's low stakes, that's when a scene having personality translates to a scene being fun. So here, slot machine arm that does actual random shit based on nothing about the situation at all. It's dictated by these little crayon symbols, and then it's all super duper over the top powers, but then it also plays poorly recorded JINX themed music and shoots blue and pink fireworks. That could not be more JINX if it tried. And it is obviously so quirky, so convoluted, so absurd. It is a fresh new space to see that convoluted, absurd JINXiness express itself, and like we said before, they keep it low stakes. And so now you take that and you give it to SEVIKA, of all people, the most rigid, anti-fun, anti-chaos character in all of Runeterra, and we get to watch the absolute grump on SEVIKA's face when she figures out what this thing is, and then we get the what do you expect look from JINX, followed by more quirky absurdity in the form of JINX's wiggly, dancey instructions and reactions to SEVIKA learning. There's just so much personality in these moments from everyone, and that's what makes it so much fun on an even deeper level than just the surface stuff. But then, because Arcane is Arcane, we also get deeper character development here too, which is number 3. This here is the key line.
It was something I could fix.
JINX is not just fixing SEVIKA's arm, she is fixing SEVIKA. In the past, we've seen JINX get the better of SEVIKA because she's so rigid, she's so direct, brute force, ogre-like. Basically, she's predictable. So JINX gifts SEVIKA chaos. She gives SEVIKA that part of herself to make her a better SEVIKA, to make her more capable as a fighter. She's got all the strength in the world, but now her main problem, predictability, is fixed. The slot machine makes her necessarily unpredictable. And this is why we get this weird little moment in the middle of the fight.
Wait. There's a deal to be struck here.
You forget, Smeech? You already made your last offer.
What we're seeing here is SEVIKA being rigid, being herself. In other words, Chaos Arm is not transforming her into a little JINX, it's making her more functional as a SEVIKA. This exchange is showing that, ironically, becoming more chaotic, more adaptable on a micro level is enabling her to be less chaotic, less adaptable on a macro level, which is exactly what SEVIKA wants. And side note, but this is also just so cool, JINX is also accomplishing this in a form that makes a lot of sense for SEVIKA specifically, meaning like not just for any rigid brute, like Vi would hate this, because we gotta remember, and shout out to Linus for showing me this on Twitter, we gotta remember that SEVIKA is a gambler. And the way she lives her life big picture, she was willing to take more risks than like Vander, for example, but still that gambler ethos never really penetrated to how she did things small picture. But now it absolutely will. Apex Scale in that YouTube comment points out how you can see her starting to have that gambler's high with her own arm. She doesn't just accept it, she starts to love it, she starts to revel in it. JINX is building a connection between these two parts of SEVIKA's personality that have never been connected before, and it's thrilling for SEVIKA. And I think that's the reason for the music and the fireworks as well. Again, I don't think think it's just Jinx being Jinxy for Jinxiness' sake. She's trying to help Sevika incorporate more life and emotion into her frankly dull, serious, dry way of going about confronting the world. Because that wild life, that raw inner heart is where Zonites like Jinx get their power. And she wants Sevika to be less of a boring ogre so she can access that. Okay, last note on the fixing. It is so cool that Jinx is not just fixing the arm. She is fixing what she did. Remember, it was her monkey bomb that blew up Sevika's arm, so she's remedying the damage she caused, which is maybe a hint of what her role might be like this season as a whole. Without the voices, according to her, what Jinx does is fix things. Her monkey bomb was also indirectly responsible for Vander's death, so she's kind of responsible for leaving the Undercity without his leadership too. And she's already fixed part of that problem by killing Silco, and judging by the way she's starting to influence the people around her, the way she's becoming a symbol already, maybe instead of her thing being copious amounts of collateral damage, this season it might be copious amounts of collateral healing? Okay, it's interesting, but it's kind of speculative. Okay, but number 4 is structure. The structure of this scene is brilliant. How they don't just lead with the slot machine, they build up to it. We get to feel just the stage of Jinx helping Sevika first with like a real problem that we can see, and then help arrives and we get to revel in how awesome that is. Then we get Jinx helping her figure out how to use it, and they give us time to revel in the fun of that. And then the slot machine stuff, every step of that, they give us room to breathe, to experience each one of these options fully and appreciate it fully, and process our own reaction alongside Jinx and Isha, i.e. our fellow audience members. And then they're also giving us room here to feel the escalation, the change coming over Sevika as she grows into it. All leading up, of course, to the glorious finale that we get a really juicy amount of time to just process and let sink in. And it's really just that this scene as a whole is structured so that we can just enjoy it most fully. Which sounds normal or like it should be normal, but it's really rare for Arcane. Most stories fight scenes are like the fun parts of the stories, but Arcane Season 1 does this thing which is so cruel, of making a scene look like it's fun, like we got the episode 8 factory fight or the episode 4 firelight fight, and hey, we're going and we're fighting and we're having a ton of fun, and then oops, trauma, oops, crushing, devastating emotion, and they even do it with this exact kind of fight too. Season 1's a gamified fight as the Echo Jinx fight, and we see the same structure starting us off with fun music and aesthetic change so that we don't make the mistake of taking the scene too seriously. We see the game element highlighted, oh hey fun, we're playing a game, and then they just smack us with the most jarring subversion ever and the scene becomes horrifying. But then by contrast, this time, the Season 2 fight, we get the music and we get the fun, and then just as we traumatized Arcane fans are kind of expecting the other two to drop, we're expecting things to maybe take a turn for the worse, but then what do they give us? Oh hey, it's even funner music. So okay, I guess this is a total joke, this is total fun, and we get to just sit back and enjoy, and this bothers me so much. I know when I say that, I know there are people who equate character growth to conflict and pain. Growth has to be traumatic and dark and awful, and no, absolutely not. This scene has lots of character growth, and it is all sunshine and rainbows and fireworks. The end. Okay, lastly, number 5 is Jinx. Specifically, I just love the nuance of her expressions throughout all of this. She's just so cool now. And it's not just like acting cool, she has this new presence, this solidity to her that is so earned. What we're feeling from her is the coolness of a character who has tackled the deepest trauma and come out the other side of it intact, who's accepted herself and meets the world with a new calm self-love. It's Jinx without the ghosts of the past. I mean, she still wants to die. It's not like she's gonna be winning any mental health contest anytime soon. But basically, instead of acting this way around her inventions, all anxious and chaotic, she is cool and accepting. Instead of acting weirdly disconnected when she kills, she is present and intentional. Instead of being distracted by all the voices, she's engaged with the people around her. And it's partaking of that same beautiful dark energy she has in those final moments of Season 1, which was my all-time favorite Jinx mode, and now she's living in that. And we get to experience it and all the nuances of it and all these different situations and from all the perspectives of all these different people. It's just so good. Okay, we'll stop here. Subscribe. In this video, I was limiting myself to just the fight. Obviously, there's way more to say on the exchange right before this, and I'm gonna go into that in my next video. Hopefully, the plan is to make a video on how Jinx has changed this season compared to last season, so stay tuned for that. That's the bigger video I'm working on. But before that, I just had to make a video about the scene because I love the scene so much. It is so cool. And on that note, I actually really like this format too. I might do this more often from now on. Like 5 points I like about a really cool scene, and not just like things I like, oh hey, I like this, that's it, but going in depth about the technique and the processes behind it and what it accomplishes and what it means. And this way I can just crank out shorter videos on scenes I want to gush analytically about without fussing over structure as much, which is the hardest part of scripting. So I guess stay tuned for more of these also. I'm sure there's gonna be more on Arcane. Huge shout outs to the Schnee community, especially Squircle, Kamaya, Terrell, and also everyone who joined in on the big group discussion on the Schnee Discord that we did post Act 1. Super fun, great insights all around. We're gonna be doing it again for the next acts, so if you want to join in on that, you can join the Schnee Patreon. We got a lot of group discussions that we do, and you can make some new friends with fellow Arcane fans on the server, and with otherwise just awesome creative people. Trust me, my community is so awesome. I love them so much. Hope everyone is enjoying Season 2. I am so happy to be making Arcane content again. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.